The following is a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about them Cowboys?
Yeah! Go Cowboys! This is Media Mash, a roundtable of Cowboys insiders dropping wisdom and offering sizzling takes on the current state of your Dallas Cowboys. Now, your host, Newy Scruggs.
Let's ride. Media Mash. DallasCowboys.com. You know who they are. Jean-Jacques Taylor. Side you, Sam.
Hello.
Mega Sci-Fi's own Clarence Hill Jr.
Did Russell Wilson know you stole his moniker? Did he on his lawyers? Will we see
Scruggs.
lawyers?
Okay, well, let me say this.
Let's ride. That sounds like a Russell
That's
Wilson.
Broncos country, let's ride. That was his. And Russ was trying to trademark let's ride. And the Broncos were too. When we were there for the preseason game a couple years ago, I don't know how it turned out. But basically, Russ, as the losing kept going, and they had James Brown mess with him one day. James Brown was doing the highlights. He said, "All right, Broncos fans, let's ride to another loss." and then Justin Tucker made fun. So then he kind of dropped it. So
you've stolen it.
So it's free. It's free use.
It's free.
Now
It's
it's just free use. Man.
Okay.
It's just free use right
we
now.
come.
Yeah, it's free use right now.
But it's apropos with the Cowboys. The Cowboys be riding, right?
That's a whole lot going on.
Stick on y'all. Remember? Y'all don't.
No.
Y'all, you were old enough. He's not, because he like Dick Harris. They don't, we used to go to the amusement park. You put that, or go to the restaurant. They have the little hobby horse. You put the little 10 cents in there.
I did that when I was a kid. Come on now. I'm not that young.
No, I didn't do that, though.
Okay.
It was more at the ball.
Have you ridden a real horse?
Yeah. Twice. Fell off once.
Okay. Mr. Alabama, Miss South Carolina. You been on a horse?
No.
No, you ain't
They're
never
not
been
trying to get on the
Grew
horse.
up in Alabama.
Why? For who? For what?
Actually enjoy
Riding a horse. Nothing wrong with riding a horse.
I may go horseback riding this
Like
week.
Django. You can ride a horse.
No, I'm trying to be Django. No, I don't need a horse.
You want to be Steven?
Don't nobody want to be Steve.
I think the assistant coach of Michigan got that role all locked up. Okay, I think he done locked it up. When the sequel come out, Tarantino's hiring him. Okay.
Wow.
Yes.
But you're right.
See, this is what we talk about when we're facing the 1-8 Cardinals. Right? No, I'm not
Carolina.
Panthers.
Panthers.
You can't focus.
And no, but that's a perfect segue, because the last time the Cowboys faced a team outside the Giants on the road that they were supposed to beat,
They got beat.
they got smacked.
Upside the head.
Okay. By the way, the news coming up here, we had it last podcast on Players Lounge. Frank Reich has decided to reclaim the play calling duty. He had a press conference.
His job is
He
on
had
the
already
line.
fired himself once this
He
year.
gonna be he's trying to avoid that one and done.
And he said it wasn't, don't blame the other guy, the offensive coordinator. Don't blame him. Don't blame
blame the brother.
me. It's me, right? Don't blame it's me. It wasn't you. It was me. Which to me, makes me just wonder: did David Tepper all of a sudden walk by that office and keep on walking? Not make no
what's
eye
up,
contact.
Dave?
No, he didn't make no contact. Just
It was all of that. And again, and I've been talking to people. The best thing about the Cowboys going to this game, Josh Dobbs ain't gonna be there. Do not let the Cardinals, keep saying the Cardinals. Do not let the Carolina Panthers, trade for Josh Dobbs. Now, he's trouble. He was trouble in Arizona, okay?
Arizona, he was trouble in Minnesota.
He's in trouble, okay? As long as Josh Dobbs ain't going
And
to
the
be
rest of the league is finding out what the Cowboys found out too. New Orleans found out last
He's
week.
just making it up as he go.
Yeah,
Right. Hey,
especially
he's
when the
doing
first
a
start, you don't have
doggone
much preparation on it. Yeah,
That's what I'm
he's
saying.
good, but this Cardinals thing, the Cardinals, this
Just-
Panthers team,
just call them Carolina.
Carolina
Write it
Panthers,
down.
this Panthers team is, there was the fans threatened to march on the stadium on Sunday. They pulled that threat back. You saw
20-man march.
Frank Reich is taking over. I mean, they're in desperation mode because they have to have a win. So this is the opportunity for them to change their season. So the Cowboys cannot go in here thinking this is the 1-8 Cardinals and they're just going to lay down. They have to do what they did against the Giants, go in there and take care of business.
It is going to be a heavy Cowboy crowd as well. North Carolina it's Washington Commanders territory, but it's a heavy Cowboy influence down there. So it's going to be that kind of crowd, kind of like when you go out to Arizona.
Yeah,
right. It's got a heavy influence. So Carolina's going to be the same way out there. So what you think?
I think you're going up against a team and a fan base that's the most miserable in the NFL because they're 1-8 and they don't even have their own draft pick. So, I mean, that's at least all the other teams that suck, are hoping for Caleb Williams or something. I know they just drafted Bryce Young anyways, but still, this is a team that is not going anywhere and isn't even set up for April. So it's just a bad situation.
Well, the Cowboys have said we run our own race. They talked about that. We're not focused on anybody else. We're not worried about the Eagles, and clearly they should not be worried about what's going on in the Carolina thing. That again after the game, Mike McCarthy talked about. The Giants, they got coaching issues, they got quarterback issues, but no one cares about your injury. We can't worry about that. We got to focus on us and do what we need to do. And the Cowboys will take that same attitude this week. Focus on the areas you need to get better at. They need to get the ball to Brandon Cooks. What they do, I think Mike McCarthy started them on his fantasy team. Going into that game. Says, I don't play fantasy football. Yeah. That boy got a whole lot of this. Did somebody in your house play fantasy football? I mean, the opening pass of the game went to Brandon Cooks. Okay? So don't tell me you wasn't targeting Brandon Cooks.
And you see the media guy, Page 2, right there. They don't play no fantasy football, man. It's Brandon Cooks. And then you see what they highlighted on here. Cooks' performance against the Giants tied him for second in a single game this season in 2023. 1, Tyreek Hill. 2, Noah Brown. Brandon Cooks up here, right here, tied with Noah Brown. So there you go. So,
and is that a metaphor for life? Cowboys, Noah Brown was no good. The Cowboys got rid of him, went to Houston. The Cowboys traded for Brandon Cooks. And they both tied for the second best, third best game this season. That's crazy.
It is.
We've seen it worse around the league.
I mean, but that's crazy. I mean,
look at the Browns. Browns get rid of Josh Dobbs.
But what I'm saying is, we thought. First, I'm not saying the Cowboys regretted getting rid of Noah Brown. We've seen enough of that.
No, I mean, he was all right.
We've seen enough of that.
I mean, he was all right.
Buffalo, we seen Buckeye. We've seen enough of that.
But he was all right.
Okay,
as he's proving right now.
He was just. The bottom line is we expect this from Brandon Cook. We certainly didn't expect that from Noah Brown to perform.
He's got those opportunities.
He's had back-to-back. He's had opportunity. Go back to Jacksonville, third down, big play. Bloop.
I guess Drew Pearson never dropped a pass.
No, he never dropped a pass to an interception.
Don't go on Sharon Moore here for Noah Brown. I mean, you love to mess out of Noah Brown, okay?
Come on, stop it.
That's my dog, man. That's my dog.
Okay, whatever, man. Stop it. But anyway, they just.
What's his number down there?
He don't know.
Good. Thank you.
85. He don't know 85.
He went 85 or 83.
If he just want any highlight, he been out of the highlights last 2 weeks. He didn't watch football.
I don't know because his hand's been in the way. Catching all them passes. I don't know what his number is.
I do think though that this stretch right here, from when you're looking at it from the outside, it looks like you're kind of just not paying attention much to whatever the Cowboys do. You take it with a grain of salt. But I think this can be a really beneficial stretch for the Cowboys because they can just get all their ducks in a row. They got Cooks involved. They're getting the offensive line kind of stabilized a little bit. They found something in Rico Dowdle. And I think all these things, when you're playing week to week against really good teams, you're game planning so much against what that other team is doing right now. They can truly play their own race. It's almost like a mid-season, preseason, where you still got to win these games, and that's the priority, but you're able to try out so many different things that you can then carry over into Philadelphia, Seattle, Detroit, all those things.
This is SEC week. Okay, you look at the SEC, you got Alabama playing nobody, UT Chattanooga, somebody playing Louisiana Monroe. I mean, that's what this is right now. So you've got a team that you should beat. Here's another opportunity. Where do we need to work on? The run game. We need to make some improvements to this run game here, figure out how you can get Tony Pollard back to where he was. And so maybe that's implementing Dowdle more like you did Zeke. But you need to work on some things right here this week as you get ready for the Commanders on Thanksgiving, then Seattle, and then Philadelphia.
Yeah. And I think that's also these three games are a progression. I think the Giants are Giants and Panthers are one and the same, but you played against Tommy DeVito. I mean, Bryce Young is not that. So, I mean, it gets a little bit better, and then Washington should be pretty good, and then you start your stretch. And while you're doing this, and I understand the players and coaches can talk about running their own race, but as people on the outside, you're looking at Philadelphia playing Kansas City, Buffalo, whatever they got going on over there, and then San Francisco. But you're doing these three and those three, and then when you play against Philadelphia, division lead could be on the line in that game.
Buffalo, I mean, that ship is being fired. The offensive
Yeah,
coordinator.
it's bad. But you got Kansas City and San Francisco, which is two games.
Buffalo, they got a decent defense. They got a swashbuckling quarterback. What I'm saying
They
is
lost their 3 best players on defense. So
what I'm saying is,
stop it.
Going to Buffalo ain't no okay. It's crazy because I hate this, and I almost had to spank him going to the game the other day. We'll talk about that, because
hazing people again.
Because I just need, I was talking to Saad. I don't know if we got a few minutes here. Going into the game, and Saad, I'm just going to open the window to our conversation.
Go ahead.
You know what? Let's take a break, and when we come back,
let's go.
Story time with Uncle Clarence here, as he teaches your Papa Bull, Baby Bull story. Coming up on the Media Mash. Boy, can't wait for this one right here on DallasCowboys.com radio.
Todd thought it would be secure to jog in the cheetah savanna. Todd believed the big cat repellent he bought online was reliable. And now, Todd is trying to be faster than this cheetah that can run 80 miles per hour. But the good news is, Todd has AT&T 5G that is fast, reliable, and secure. And he learned the best thing to do is stop running and toss her the backpack with the beef stew. AT&T 5G. Fast, reliable, secure. It's not complicated.
5G requires compatible plan and device. 5G may not be available in your area. See att.com/5G for you for details.
Don't put off getting your oil changed, Dallas. Take 5 Oil Change, a proud partner of the Cowboys, is faster than you think. There's no appointment needed and no waiting room. Yep, you heard that correctly. Take 5 is so fast, you don't even have to get out of your car. You can take advantage of Take 5's fast, friendly, and simple service at any of their locations across the Dallas area. And remember, at Take 5, you stay in your car because they're faster than you think. Take 5, the official oil change of the Dallas Cowboys.
It's the official men's skincare brand of the Dallas Cowboys, Jack Black. And right now, Cowboys fans can get 15% off their $75 order. Plus, because every deal needs a playmaker, your order will include a free 5-piece skincare set and free shipping. The Jack Black Playmaker is 4 of Jack's favorites and a full-sized intense therapy lip balm. Make a play for the Playmaker at getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code COWBOYSVIP. That's getjackblack.com/Cowboys with the code COWBOYSVIP.
They say champions are remembered, but legends are never forgotten. United Ag & Turf offers a winning lineup of John Deere equipment built to tackle any challenge on and off the field. Legendary John Deere tractors, combines, residential mowers, commercial mowers, compact construction equipment, Gator utility vehicles, and a full line of golf and sports turf equipment. United Ag & Turf, the official Ag & Turf equipment supplier of the Dallas Cowboys. Visit UnitedAgAndTurf.com to find a location near you.
Back to Media Mash.
Here we are, Media Mash. That's right. Segment 2, just like the Broncos. We'll keep on rolling here. How about that? Well, that was a bad, almost lost by Sean Payton out there. I mean, I was rushing the field goal kick out there. He missed the kick, but thankfully for him, Buffalo had 12 men on the field, and then that thing just got away from them. And the next day, the head coach, Sean McDermott, ends up firing his offensive coordinator. So you look at that. That's why I see stuff like that, and I'm like, guys, for the people who like to moan and groan about Mike McCarthy, it can't get worse.
We've seen worse around
and
here.
it's gotten better than Mike McCarthy.
Agreed, it has. So, Jock Taylor, Saad Youssef, Clarence Hill, I'm Newey Scruggs. This is the Media Mash. Cowboy beat writers sit around here and give you their takes on things. And Clarence, you have a story between you and young Saad.
And young Saad, I got to get on these young folks. First of all, yesterday in the locker room, Calvin Watkins was talking about about the stretch, and now Buffalo doesn't count. And that's a bad Buffalo team. So if they beat Buffalo, they don't count. I'm like, how can we? So the Cowboys go beat Buffalo. That's not a good win anymore. That's not a good win anymore. I mean, but that's how the media gets started creating these things in their head and about the team and where they are. They don't prove nothing to go win in Buffalo now because Buffalo's not good. What are you talking about? So anyway, we're walking into the game Sunday, young Saad and I, and he said this is a good game for the Cowboys to sit Cooper Rush and make Trey Lance the backup quarterback and get Trey Lance some action. I'm like, what?
No.
And
negative.
And I will let him explain his reasoning.
Okay.
But my thing is this: he said they should have no trouble beating the Giants. They need to find out what they got in Trey Lance. A perfect game, he said. And I'm like, the problem with the Cowboys is they haven't always made the main thing the main thing. And the main thing is trying to win these games, get better this year, so you can continue this momentum and go into the playoffs. Dak can get hurt.
I was going to say, what if Dak got hurt
against
what if he
the
put
Giants?
Aaron Rodgers and got hurt on the fourth play of the game?
Cooper Rush needs reps to say we know what we have. Yeah, that was years ago. He hasn't played a lot this year. You can't assume that he's just automatically going to pick up where he left last year, this year, without any reps. And you need to get him as much reps because it's all about doing what you can to win right now, this year, to set yourself up for the future. The Trey Lance evaluation, you're going to get in practice, you're going to get in the preseason. It can wait.
All right. So my logic behind this was, first of all, you've gotten Cooper Rush work this year too, right? I mean, they've had blowouts.
Yeah,
both wins and losses.
Both
wins and losses, they've had Cooper Rush come into the game. Trey Lance has now had like however many weeks it's been, 9-10 weeks, whatever, in the system. So you're not throwing them to the wolves in terms of not knowing the system, not knowing the Cowboys system. And for me, I'm thinking you're at home. You're also playing against Tommy DeVito, okay? So this is not like Trey Lance should now be the backup quarterback in Carolina. I'm not saying that because you're on the road, you're against Bryce Young, whatever, all this stuff. Against the Giants, my point was, and this is where I disagree with making the main thing. That's a contingency plan. Like it's not you're not planning for your backup quarterback to play anyways. My point was that if it got to that point, then you should be able to beat the Giants with whoever you're playing at quarterback, regardless.
Well, you should have been able to beat Arizona with whoever you're playing the quarterback. It just don't work that way. No. And secondly, the Trey Lance is only a conversation because they traded for him. There's
no other team in the league said, hey, let's get our third-string quarterback.
No one's trying to do that. And we don't know what.
Yeah, but not everyone's third-string quarterback was a former number 1 overall pick.
That's not the Cowboys' issue. That's a media issue, that's a hype issue. But for the Cowboys, they're not looking at their third-string quarterback. Hey, that's a former number 1 pick. No, they're looking at it. That's a guy we got in the fourth round pick to be our third quarterback and develop for the future. It's not an urgency here.
You're trying to play college football. That's something that you do with that in a college game. You don't do that in professional football, especially when the way the rules are set. Now, if it was like the rules were set that, hey, you can go ahead and play Trey Lance, or they set their roster up to go ahead and play him, they didn't. So no, you can't do that, especially against a team where Dak has already gotten hurt. No.
Yeah.
Every week we are watching quarterbacks go down and get hurt. Mm-hmm. Every week. You can't sit around here and be that arrogant. They're not good enough to be that arrogant and say, hey, man, Trey, you ain't never thrown a pass for us, but let's go ahead and get in this game and go get this work in. No. It's just this is not the time or place to try to see anything from Trey Lance.
To me, it was if there was one game on this schedule where you could do that, that was the game.
There's not one game on this schedule.
And the bottom line is as a team, as a front office, as a coaching staff, I cannot take that's being disrespectful to the game of the team, that I'm going to plan going into the game that, hey, we're going to blow this team out and I'm going to give my third string quarterback some work so I can figure out what he is for next year. That's just the wrong mindset.
That's fireable. That's a fireable offense.
Even if I understand your logic, but that's not the mindset you want to have. You need to display. It's just disrespectful to the game.
All right.
Young fella.
That's college. That's a college football mentality. I mean, you can do that in college football, and then the rules allow you to do that. But the way he's an emergency football,
you can predict the blowout.
Yes, and then Appalachian State comes down and beat your butt.
True that.
Let's talk about people who aren't fired.
Hey, it happened in Michigan too. Then they went to Michigan too and did before.
And what happened to everybody cut that L from messing with App. They get rolled. So
yeah. So I guess what I'm saying is, in one hand, we got people that think the Cowboys should beat these teams, and then we got people that they can't win. Like, Cowboys already saying, well, if they go beat Buffalo, that's not a good win. What?
I mean, it doesn't really matter at one level whether they're good wins or bad wins. You just got to stack them.
Right.
Yes.
You don't apologize for wins.
There's 17 of them. There's
hard.
No small ones.
And Buffalo will be a desperate team. I don't care what their record is. Their quarterback is a gambler who can, you don't know what's going to happen.
It'll be a good test because that'll be in Buffalo too. And when you're
It's not
going
even a test, it's a game.
It's a game
Right.
in December.
I mean, they don't want 40
obviously it's a game. We can talk about two things at once, though. Like, we can talk about it being a game and a good test, and they're not mutually exclusive.
Well, what I'm saying, they're all tests, is what we're saying.
Is that what they do with the Stars? Is that what they do with the Stars?
No, but like, I understand.
Hey, man, sit this one out, man.
I understand it. I understand it can be.
This is Arizona. Sit this
No,
one
I
out.
understand. Like, taking words out of context and meaning out of context is fun to do.
No, you can use better words.
But at the same time, no, it's a test because that's outdoor game going into the playoffs. You got to go play Philly up in Philly. That's a good test to have of how you play outdoors up there. I mean, it's not that it's not a game on the schedule either. It's just
all games in that sense. All games are tests. The Carolina game is a test. Every game is a test to a certain thing. But it's just the mindset that Buffalo's a test. Buffalo's a good team. And regardless of where you are.
What's the test for Carolina going into as it relates to your playoffs? What are you getting tested on here?
Oh, can you play on the road? Can you play on grass? Can you take care of business?
So is Buffalo on the road? So is Buffalo on the road?
What I'm saying,
yes.
Every game was a test. Is my point.
It's not.
Yes.
Come on.
So
they're great. That's why they keep a record.
If I'm listening to you, Arizona was not a test, and we just saw them go out there and lose.
It's a different kind of test, though.
But you said it wasn't a test.
No. I'm saying if Carolina, I'm saying,
hockey mentality.
I'm saying,
2 game. Come on,
man.
Hockey man,
get out of here with that. No, it's if you played Carolina the same weekend that you're playing Buffalo, is that the same thing?
Certainly every test.
3 weeks before the season ends,
but
up in Buffalo, is that the same thing as playing Carolina that weekend up in Carolina?
Ideally, all games are tests. They're all
17.
tests. You only get 17 of them, which is why DeMarcus Lawrence told us today that they are regretting, not DeMarcus Lawrence, it was the safety, Jaron Curse. He's still mad about the loss to Arizona. He's still mad that hurts us. It's a conference loss, and that's what he talked about going into. You cannot.
Now you got to go make it up somewhere.
Right. So you cannot let these games go.
So Saad, I was in my younger days, in the early years of NBC Sunday Night Football. And John Madden was still doing it without Michaels. And they sent us out to L.A. for the big media junkie. So it was my turn there, and Tony Romo was a quarterback. And I said, John, right now, the biggest problem a lot of people have with Tony Romo is that they don't think he wins big games. And he says, hold on a minute. Something's always bothered me as a head coach. There are only 16 of these things. That's back before schedule. There's only 16. Tell me the small ones. You got a guy who's out here taking you to place. Tell me the small games that are on the schedule. It's like there's no such thing as a small game. There's only 16 of these. They all matter, especially if you're trying to go somewhere. So in your mind, you're trying to say this Giants game, this is so small of a game. Let's go bring in a guy who's yet to take a snap for us. That I don't agree with.
It's just that mentality.
Is it a game that they should win? I picked them to cover. I think we all picked them to win.
If you think all 16 games are all the same, then we just fundamentally disagree.
But if they're all big games, and you're trying to say
because there's a reason why you always have that stat board of what Kirk Cousins does in prime time. Like, I mean, come on, they're not all the same. I'm not saying they're not all important, but they're not all the same.
You could say the competition may be different, but in your mentality is you're already telling these guys these dudes are Buddy Ryan say ain't no East Carolinas. You trying to sit up here and say ain't no goods. This is not Alabama versus UT Chattanooga on Sunday. That's how you're treating the Giants, according to you right there. And you can't do that in the NFL. Is what we're saying.
That's what we're saying. Yeah, you can't do that. Again, it's the wrong message to send. That's how you get beat, and it's the wrong mentality to send about your organization and what you're trying to do. You can't do that.
Yeah, I mean, it's great all for the messaging has been so great for the last 20
I'm not
years.
saying it wasn't great, but that is great for us to talk about. Just like all the MVP talk, and we need to talk about that for a second.
You should ask Mike about that when we go.
Well, I'm not. And Clarence left off the first thing I said when I started that conversation.
Which is
if I was Mike McCarthy, I understand. I probably wouldn't do that. I said outside looking in. Did I not say that to you? Right?
I remember that point because I heard all the other stuff.
Yeah.
But the bottom line is this: you're right from the outside looking at it, and that's fine for us to talk about. And it gives us segment to talk about. We can talk about what if, it's just like
radio talk.
That's what it is, and that's great. That's just not something, a foundation philosophy that the Cowboys should be thinking about or doing. That's all we're saying. As an organization, you can't do that. For us, yes.
You're under 40, correct?
What?
Under 30.
I'm just saying. So
Yeah.
when you reach there, your mind will change. I mean, some of the things that I used to believe and think when I was younger doing this, as I got older, and as the people I covered started to retire and the coaches started, you change a little bit. But that's one to grow on. I'd be very interested, when Clarence is older in life and the grandpa, when you sit up here and you still covering the Cowboys, when you talk to him and go over that and see if you still feel that way.
All right.
Because
I guess we'll revisit this conversation in about 13 years.
I do think, I mean, literally, I would love to, because there are things that I used to think about. And later on, I'm like, even the way I think about coaches and coaching change, all the stuff. As I've gotten older, and you go through this, and you're like, well,
Well, and the biggest thing is what you just said. Like me asking McCarthy about this, I would never do that because I'm not stupid. And also, on top of that, like I understand not doing it. I'm not saying like I didn't write some column slamming Mike McCarthy for not making Trey Lance the backup. I'm just saying. I just threw it out there as it's a thought.
It's a sports radio conversation.
Exactly. That's all I was saying.
And having done it, those are time fillers. Hey guys, we got 4 hours. Let's go ahead and throw this one out here.
I'm not.
Open the phone line.
If I'm walking into the stadium with a beat writer, I'm not going to be like, so how do you think the Cowboys are going to beat the Giants today? Come on now.
He said he needs something deeper. Again. That's just that's what we should. There's nothing wrong with us speculating. I have a problem when we speculate just for quick takes, like.
So on your walk-in, you've never had a random conversation.
I wasn't really talking about it.
Did I write about it? Did I talk? You brought it up now, not me.
No.
So I don't know what you're.
That's what you get with him.
I know. He's trying to frame it.
Time out.
He does like a drag.
Time out.
He'll drag you in minutes.
I know. He did that on purpose too, because he framed it in that way that I was like, they should do it like this. All I said was,
see how young you knew. We already know.
No. First of all,
what
I said, it was a good conversation because I just think that we have mindsets, and I prefaced it and I said we can talk about this, right? He said okay, so let's just talk about it. But my point is that we got to stop thinking these games aren't important. These teams are no good because their record is bad. I mean, 3 weeks ago, Denver had given up 70 points, and then they go back and beat the Chiefs, and no one saw any of the back-to-back wins against the Chiefs and Buffalo on the road. Now we're saying Buffalo sucks because they lost to the Denver team. Maybe Denver's getting better.
Right, and what you're talking about, I don't disagree with that completely, but we also are not going to look at the Cowboys or the season the same way that Dak Prescott does. Dak is going to come out and say every week that he's not looking at what Philadelphia is doing. Are you?
Nope, not looking.
Yes, you are. Come on, man.
Look at I'm seeing.
Dak looking at Philadelphia too.
I'm watching.
Exactly, but he has to say that he's not doing it.
I'm watching Washington. Watching the Commanders. That's what they play next.
Right.
They don't play the Eagles. They play Carolina.
1 week at a time. Keep your eyes on your own.
Carolina and Washington. I got to see what Bieniemy is doing.
Carolina, Washington, Seattle, then Philadelphia.
Seattle. I'm watching what Seattle's doing.
Yes, you did.
No, and you listen. I understand. We predicted. I've already predicted the schedule, the record all the way through those games. So I mean, I understand.
What is it again? What you got to do?
Well, coming in, after I think it was after the 49ers game, I kind of predicted their record coming in, what they got to be, or actually it was actually going into this home stretch. So I had them beating everybody except Philadelphia. I predicted they would lose to Philadelphia that week. And
so you got them with 12 wins? How you got to finish it?
No, I'm just talking about going up until, because to me, they had 4 of the next 6 games at home. And I thought they should go 5-1 heading into the Eagles game. And that's when the season really starts, with all these tests in December. Philadelphia,
no, they're all the
Buffalo, same. Detroit, Miami, You
Watch
need
the
to be
Commanders.
5-1 going into this stretch.
Okay.
Because this is it's a tough stretch at the end of the season.
Let's end it there because Mike McCarthy's coming up here at the bottom of the hour to make sure everybody gets up there to the press conference because it's not like it's just next door. So, all right, Clarence Hill, thank you. Appreciate you, dog team. You know, second best I make on the show. We got Saad Youssef here, the Athletic. Make sure you check out his work.
84.
Don't forget, you want to get Jacques' new book, Coach Prime, former Dallas Cowboy, by the way.
Started
Coach
reading
Prime,
that last
making
week.
you men.
Did you now?
I
What did you
did.
think?
It's really good. I read it on the flight to Philly.
I got a buddy that said he was doing an audiobook, reading it in bed.
Cool.
Can I end the show?
We were talking about reading this book. But it is time I read all listen to Jock's audio.
I'm Louis Scruggs. Thank you for watching Media Man. You always talk about we need to get up here and go get. I'm trying to get you to Coach McCarthy. You still talking? I'm trying to help you.
I was trying to pump up Jock's book.
I appreciate
I was just doing that. I need no extra help on this. All right, goodbye.
This has been a production of DallasCowboys.com and the Dallas Cowboys Football Club.
How about this, Cowboys?